Yeah, now we've heard from some practitioners that are obviously in day-to-day practice. We're going to listen to some managers of day nurseries and see what the inquiry is meant to them. If you'd like to watch now, you'll hear Costain talking.
Good morning, my name is Costain and I manage the childcare provision at Liverpool Community College. I've written an account of the experience and reflections of our involvement with the collaborative inquiry, and I would like to share this with you. The nursery staff asked me to join them at the initial meeting of the collaborative inquiry. We all went along quite slightly unsure of what the session would involve, but thought of it as another opportunity for staff development and networking with other nurseries. Straight away, the session seemed different from the usual sitting and listening to someone deliver training. Within a short time, we were being asked to contribute our thoughts and feelings on what was important to us, what evoked strong feelings for us, what was the ethos of the childcare provided in our settings. The group were introduced to Joan Walton and Jack Whitehead, who were described as academics. Personally, this title makes me feel slightly intimidated, yet Jack was immediately referring to us as professionals. Joan and Jack were very enthusiastic about our work within early years. Jack in particular was very keen for us to really think about what had inspired us to go into our profession, and by the end of the session we felt motivated and keen to understand the process. In the first session, the nursery staff who have remained within the inquiry stated what they felt passionately about. Debbie's was kindness. What a difference a welcoming smile makes. Kindness costs nothing and gives so much to people. Kindness can be shown in many ways, being helpful, supportive, compassionate, showing empathy and making people feel they belong somewhere. Kindness can create an everlasting impression, as can a negative response. Remember, every moment counts. Angela's was inclusion, with a particular interest in speech and language. As a special educational needs coordinator, Angela had grown in confidence in this area. Angela thought about certain key children in her care, the difference in the children since they started the nursery, the journey that the children, the parents and Angela had been on to create the trusting relationships that have been established. For me, my passion is equality for children and families. Excellent, affordable early years childcare should be made available to all families. During the first few meetings, a familiar group started to gather, and we would try and understand the process that Joan spoke of, reassuring us often that it would become clearer. I think our uncertainty of the inquiry process was due to the fact that as busy managers and practitioners, we have little time to reflect on our practice and no time to question where our principles and beliefs had come from. Over the first few sessions, people started to share their personal accounts. These were very honest accounts from the group, often reflecting far back into their childhood. The accounts detailed the sadness and disappointments people had experienced, as well as the joy and success in their lives. In short, from sharing these unique accounts, people identified why they felt certain things were very important, for instance, Debbie and her kindness. People started to recognise that their own negative and positive early experiences influenced their practice. For instance, Debbie as a young person had experienced injustice, so it is very important to Debbie that children have a voice, and her ethos is to empower children. For Angela, she lacked confidence as a child and now recognises that this lack of confidence prevented her from reaching her full potential in school. Consequently, Angela strives to develop children's confidence and raise their self-esteem. For me, the collaborative inquiry gave me the opportunity to come away from the office and my role as manager and to have time with Debbie and Angela. The process reaffirmed why I went into childcare many years ago. Firstly, a desire to work with children, and then it made me recall my first post in a day nursery, where I soon recognised the importance of the settling in period for the child and their parents. So I discovered the true benefits of parent partnership 20 years ago. The inquiry gave me a greater understanding of the demands on my staff and how they respond to these demands. I learnt what really matters to them. I have always walked into the college nurseries and felt a nurturing and child-centred environment. However, now I sat and listened to anecdotes from Debbie and Angela of comments from the children or conversations with parents. It was as I listened to these that I realised the depth of their parent partnership and just how special and valued each child was. This positive child-centred environment does not just happen. It is the result of the staff's commitment to the children and their families. During the collaborative inquiry, I think Debbie and Angela felt the uniqueness of their setting. Located in Liverpool 8, the small nursery provides childcare to the students of Liverpool Community College. The majority of families are from ethnic backgrounds, English will not be their first language, and the children may be learning 2 or 3 languages as they begin to vocalise. And I've lost one. Makaton is used in the nursery for the nursery staff to communicate with the children. Often as the children's verbal communication develops, the children continue to sign as it is a familiar practice to them. Parent partnership can sometimes take a lot of time and effort to develop. Initially, some parents may not engage with the staff. This may be due to having limited English, shyness, or very often just thinking of the nursery as somewhere their child is looked after and then they go home. Effective parent partnership is central to the success of the nursery. Parents are made aware from the start that the nursery staff are there for them too. Some parents respond very easily to this as they may be quite isolated and welcome the support and friendship. Communicating with parents with little or no English requires the nursery staff to be creative in their parent partnership, showing children's artwork, showing them photos of the children in the nursery or the flip video clips. There are differing cultural attitudes. Some people have definite views on the stereotypical play their child may or may not want their child to participate in. For example, this year we have a little girl whose dad is a strict Muslim. When she started the nursery, her hair was cut very short and her dad didn't like her to dress in dressing up clothes and didn't want her to play out in the winter months. Playing out and dressing up just happened to be her 2 favourite activities. Debbie tactfully explained to Dad that the children didn't stay indoors and all the merits of role play. She talked about the benefits of fresh air and exercise and how Fatima loved playing outdoors with her friends. Dad still wasn't really happy, but Debbie was consistent in her approach to Dad that Fatima should continue to enjoy these activities. As I described earlier, Debbie was Fatima's voice. As we approach the end of the academic year, Fatima is wonderful. Spends most of the day in her dressing up clothes, and her hair has now grown long enough for her to have little pigtails, which she just loves. Fatima will grow up in a strict Muslim home, and the nursery staff respects this. However, during her time at nursery, Debbie was able to engage Dad and encouraged him to consider his daughter's needs aside from his own views. Remember, every moment counts. In March this year, Cumbre Morley Nursery had an Ofsted inspection. The nursery staff received outstanding for equality and diversity and for the extent to which a child makes a positive contribution. The written report highlighted the strength of inclusion in the nursery. Inclusion is something very close to my heart. My niece and nephew were born at 25 weeks and both suffered brain bleeds in their first few weeks of life. Today they are 3 years old, they are called Lily and Jonas, they are bright, funny, intelligent children, and they both have mild cerebral palsy. As a family, we've seen the positive and negative aspects of people's responses to disability. For instance, my sister's first experience of preschool childcare, and I would just like to confirm this isn't a nursery in Liverpool. The children attended the nursery for a week. They settled in well to the routine of the nursery and loved circle time. Then suddenly, my sister received an email from the nursery manager asking her not to bring the children back to the nursery due to health and safety and the fact that she felt the children were slowing the class down. An email. My sister should have been invited to meet with the nursery manager to discuss her concerns over Lily and Jonas's care. Then a more positive experience for my sister at a church play group run by volunteers. It was the Christmas service and the children were meant to walk down the aisle of the church holding their favourite cuddly toy. My nephew's cerebral palsy affects his legs, so he is still learning to walk. My sister thought she would carry Jonas, but when she asked one of the helpers, she replied that no, Jonas is going to be included too, and she'd arranged something. She then proceeded to bring out a child's shopping trolley that she had brought in from home. The trolley was completely decorated in festive tinsel. Jonas was the proudest little boy when he walked down the aisle, a huge smile on his face, pushing his trolley with his cuddly toy in the trolley. My sister will always remember these two experiences, but for very different reasons, of course. Remember, every moment counts. In the college nurseries, nursery staff recognise and expect their responsibility with regard to inclusion. The nursery staff see the child first and work with the parents and, if required, other specialists to ensure that the child has the best learning experience whilst at nursery. Individual play plans are produced to extend the children's skills and development by building on a child's interest in activities that he and she enjoy. The early years are a crucial time for children's thoughts, feelings and attitudes to develop. Children are like sponges, absorbing everything around them, what they see, hear and how they're responded to. In the college nurseries, the nursery staff are excellent role models to the children. Children are consistently talked to with kindness and appreciation of their views and feelings. The children are encouraged to value themselves and one another, recognising their similarities and differences, and develop an understanding of what is right and wrong. I will close my account now, but I hope you will once again appreciate the importance of every moment counts within a child's early years and the significant contribution early years workers make to a child's positive relationships.
Thank you, Karen. I'm sure Karen wouldn't mind a few questions if anyone has any.
No, right.
I'd like to introduce Julie